Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is our first virtual meeting. We're all excited, so bear with us. As comfortable as we can get with everybody. We'll be patient with everybody. Hopefully everybody can hear us out there, and we can move forward. Okay, Mr. Pack is unable to meet with us tonight. He's gone away and will be back with us in the next meeting. Could we please stand and join me in a prayer by the follow of the Pledge of Allegiance? So if we could all stand. Loving Heavenly Father, we pray for guidance in the matter at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to follow ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other for excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and further to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you, Council. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Okay. How do we get the flag on? There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, so we've got an agenda in front of us. The agenda council has an agenda of September 8th before us. And is there any additions, deletions, corrections on the agenda? Council, okay? Here then, the chair moves that the agenda be accepted with unanimous consent. Okay. Okay, next we'll do the minutes. Council has a chance to review the minutes from July 14th. Are there any additions, deletions, corrections of the minutes? That everybody had a chance to see the minutes? Here none, the chair moves that the minutes be accepted with unanimous consent. Okay. The next would be distributions. Disbursements, I'm sorry. Okay. From September 1st to September 8th, has council had a chance to take a look at all that? Any additions, deletions, corrections on the disbursements? Anything? Anybody seen anything? Okay. Hearing none, the chair moves the disbursements be accepted with unanimous consent. Okay, so our first update for COVID-19, our first thing is going to be Ken Gazelle, President and CEO of University of Maryland, Eastern Shore Regional Health, and Sarah Rich, CEO of Chesapeake Community Health Systems. Are they online?
I'm going to bring the three presenters on right now.
Okay, that'd be great. Can you hear us, Ken? Ken, can you hear us? How about Sarah? Can you hear us, Sarah?
I think Parker said he was getting the three of them online, so we'll give him just a moment.
Okay.
I think, can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are. Hey, Sarah.
Hello, everyone.
Good. I think Ken will be on in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, Ken is on. His video and audio is muted, so if he wants to open those up, he should be able to be seen.
Ken, if you can hear us, you can mute and then turn your camera on if you can.
Mr. Callahan, while we wait for just a second for Mr. Tizell to get online, if you'd like, I can cue this up real quick. I was the one who invited both of these groups to come speak to us. I'm very interested in COVID-19 and what protection we're doing for the community. We've had some excellent partners. Both the University of Maryland Shore Regional Health and Choptank have been fantastic partners for doing the testing for us, as well as, of course, taking care of the patients for us. So excited to hear what information they have to share going forward, especially with schools opening up and everybody coming back out of the house a little bit, and so what's going to happen and what we're prepared for if anything were to come.
That would be great.
Hopefully they're on now.
Yeah. So Sarah, if you want to kind of get started, that'd be great.
That sounds perfect. Thank you so much, and thanks to Councilmember DeVillio for inviting us here tonight to talk about our response to COVID-19 at Choptank Community Health. I'm going to do a real quick overview of who we are because I'm not sure that everybody's familiar with who Choptank is. I think a great place to start is our mission, which is really our guide or our roadmap for everything that we do in our community, and that includes our response to COVID-19. So that mission is to provide access to exceptional, comprehensive, and integrated healthcare for all. We opened our first office back in 1980 in Goldsboro, and this year, 2020, marks our 40-year anniversary. So that is very exciting. Of course, we've not been able to celebrate maybe in the ways that we would have pre-COVID, but it's still a significant milestone for us. So today, we provide medical and dental services in Caroline, Talbot, and Dorchester counties. In 2019, we provided care for nearly 30,000 patients across 6 health center locations, school-based health centers, and our migrant program. I do want to thank and recognize Council President Corey Pack. I know he's not on tonight, but he is on our board of directors, and really appreciate his support through that action as well. So let's shift to Talbot County. Choptank, we employ 50 Talbot County residents. We have an office in Easton on Sinwood Drive for pediatrics with a pediatrician, Dr. Mark Faber, and a pediatric nurse practitioner, Lauren Kubek, and saw over 2,500 patients at that location in 2019. We also have an office in St. Michael's on South Talbot Street. We have Doug Hampshire, a physician assistant there, Greg Dukes, a nurse practitioner, and Dr. Richard Snow. And we have dental services there as well with a dental hygienist, Vicki Barrier, and a new dentist, to Choptank anyway, Dr. Yenisei Valdez-Torres. And we saw over 4,200 patients at that Bay 100 Health location. We do have LabCorp services there on site, and having that there has been instrumental in our response to COVID-19 as we've been doing testing there in St. Michael's from the beginning. We also have a referral specialist on site that helps to coordinate care as well as an interpreter. So school-based health centers, our school-based health centers are opening. We've been working very closely with Talbot County Public Schools and appreciate their support to continue this important service to our students and staff in Talbot County. We are at Easton Elementary School, Easton Middle School, and Easton High School. Last year, we took care of almost 1,000 students in the Talbot County Public Schools. Kim Fitzgerald is a nurse practitioner, and she is providing those services in the schools. We do lab testing in schools, so we can test for flu, we can test for strep throat, we can test for COVID. We write prescriptions. We're working on doing well child visits, sports physicals, and taking care of kids and staff who are sick. So if anyone needs an appointment as part of school-based health center, they can go ahead and call those schools, and in most cases, schedule a same-day appointment. So now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about our response to COVID, and it's all certainly interconnected. So first thing is we stayed open. During the pandemic, we never stopped providing the essential medical and dental services to our community. Our primary purpose throughout COVID and as we continue to respond is to prevent unnecessary hospitalizations and ensure that we've got continuity of care for our medical and dental patients. We, like many, the hospital, primary care, we all had to pivot quickly to move to telehealth. So we got that up and running in really just a matter of days. And I would say during the height of the pandemic, probably about 65 to 70% of our total visits were provided virtually. So since COVID started through, I think, July, we've had more than 8,000 patient visits virtually. And that includes both medical and dental visits. And that option is still available for patients that would like to see the provider from the comfort of their own home. So another part of our response is we adopted testing early. We started doing COVID-19 testing in late February. In Talbot County, we had our first positive result for a Choptank patient at the end of March. And we've been very, happy to be a participant, actively engaged as a community partner with the Talbot County Emergency Operations Centers from the beginning. And we've been providing that testing for COVID curbside since early March. And that is for drive up or walk up. We've had tents set up. If you've been by any of our offices, the weather certainly sometimes isn't as conducive for conducting testing outside, but doing it that way is really the safest way for our patients and for our staff. So another big component of our response is outreach and education. So from the beginning, we've really focused on testing, tracking, and providing culturally competent communication because we want to prevent COVID-19 and really paying close attention to our non-English speaking patients and communities who have been hit hard with COVID here on the shore. So we were able to effectively communicate educational information about COVID prevention, treatment, and testing, written flyers and videos that were done both in Spanish and Creole, and really worked with local organizations to identify those community connectors to get the word out on how to stop the spread. So faith-based community, our local health departments, the Multicultural Resource Center, organizations like that. Where are we now? Well, today we're seeing more patients back in our offices. We are following all the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention guidelines to keep our care teams and patients safe. COVID-19 is really airborne in nature, so air purification is really important to ensure that we have a safe environment of care for our dental and medical patients. We've installed technologies which have been effective in eliminating some of those airborne contaminants, and that's allowed us to safely open our facilities, provide more intensive dental treatments, which a lot of dental treatments generate aerosol, and continue that treatment that's needed for our patients with chronic health issues. We've also put in place some additional safety measures, such as installing plexiglass at our check-in and check-out stations. You see that at the grocery store or pretty much anywhere that you go out in the community. We're checking temperatures for our staff, for our patients, screening for symptoms and exposure. And then anyone that comes into our sites does have to wear a mask and practice social distancing. So I was really thinking about, okay, well, what's next? What's kind of the call to action for good health for our residents? And I would just add that, always and especially during this time of COVID, we've got to take care of our health. So that means now is a good time to have that annual exam or checkup that may have been put off during the pandemic. We also saw a dramatic decrease in childhood immunization rates across the nation, here in Maryland and on the shore. So it's important for parents and caregivers to know that it's safe to take their kids to the doctor and to stay current on those vaccines to help prevent against things like hepatitis and measles, whooping cough, all those other illnesses which are certainly preventable with vaccinations. The other thing I would encourage is fall is here. We need to start getting ready for flu shots. When you think about the combination of the flu and COVID, that's really very dangerous. And so one thing that we can do as a community is do outreach and encourage flu shots to occur to protect ourselves and to protect those around us. And we know COVID's still here. So again, it's critical we wear the masks, we practice social distancing, we wash our hands frequently, and we get that flu shot, which is really our best bet for staying safe this fall. So I would just say overall, our response, it required a quick shift in our operations to move to that telehealth platform, to conduct curbside visits outside, and offering that COVID testing and education. So we'll continue to evolve as we move forward, so that we provide the high quality medical and dental care that our residents here on the Midshore deserve. And I just wanted to say I'm very thankful for the community partnerships that we have with each county emergency operations center, our county council, Shore Regional Health departments, and others, as we all continue to work together to navigate this response to COVID-19. And it's just been really great to partner with everybody as we all have the same mission here.
But thank you, Sarah. What an excellent report. That's for sure. So one thing you touch base on: when do they start flu shots? Is it as soon?
Yes. So the CDC recommends that you get a flu shot starting in September and October. It takes about 2 weeks for that immunity to start. So I say the sooner the better, and we recommend that anyone 6 months and older gets a flu shot.
Okay, that's great. So, council, does anybody have anything for Sarah? So, okay, Sarah, well, we really appreciate you reporting, and Mr. DeVillio, really appreciate you reaching out to her and bringing us up to date. It's a big help. So, Ken, I see you're on with us. Can you hear us?
Yes, indeed. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, everything's good. Yep, you're up on the screen. And
excellent.
Just want to make one announcement to remind everybody. We are on the Easton Station cable on channel 98. Channel 98. So, Ken, welcome tonight. Really appreciate you taking the time with us and bringing us up to speed on where we're at.
Actually, Chuck, one thing. No, that message was the Easton Town Council meeting has bumped us. They usually have their meeting on Monday, but because of Labor Day, it's tonight. So we are not on Easton Cable tonight.
Oh, we're not. Okay. That's my mistake. Right. That's my mistake. I appreciate that. Thanks, Laura.
All right. And on with Ken. Thanks.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for giving us a few minutes of your busy schedule to share with you what's going on at Shore Regional Health. And Sarah, you did an amazing job. You always do. You're a great ambassador for Choptank and for the region. And I couldn't thank you enough for the partnership that we've built over the years, and for your collaboration, especially during COVID. It's pandemics like these that really challenge us to come together and work together collaboratively on behalf of the community we serve. And you're a great ambassador, a great CEO, and thank you for introducing everybody to what you're doing and how you're getting through COVID. We share a very similar story here at Shore. But before I jump into that, I just wanted to take a second to thank the council. You guys have a very, very difficult job trying to balance the needs of the business community and the health and well-being of the community you serve. And it's not an easy task. I know that oftentimes you're not able to win on either side, and you try to find that sweet spot. But from the healthcare and hospitals perspective, we appreciate what you're doing. We have to focus on the safety and well-being of our community, and by enforcing things like you've been enforcing, wearing masks, social distancing, washing your hands, quarantining if you're not feeling well, going to see the doctor if you're not feeling well, or coming to the hospital if you're really ill. Those are the kinds of messages we need to continuously get out to our community. And I think if we enact all of that together, then we'll get through this pandemic faster and safer than we ever could if we don't. So thank you, Council, for your leadership and for the fortitude that you've had throughout COVID. I also want to take a second to thank Corey and all of you and the health officers, specifically Frida, and the entire team that participates on a weekly call with the entire community of Talbot County. It's through those connections that we learn about what each other are doing, what support services we need to help each other out, and the status of how we're going through COVID together. It's that brief 45 to 60-minute call each week that really, I think, benefits the hospital, because we have greater understanding and appreciation for what you do. And hopefully we can provide you with information about our progress as we get through COVID. So I see it as a very important information exchange. And I'd just like to thank you for standing up and keeping that command center rolling for well over, 150 days at least now. So thank you very much for your leadership in that regard as well. You know, when you look at the state of the state with COVID-19 as it is with your healthcare system on the Shore, Shore Regional Health is your healthcare system. Make no mistake about it. We have been here, we're going to be here, and we'll be here for the future for healthcare services, regardless of what comes our way. And with regard to COVID-19, you know, we focus on a couple of major elements of getting through this pandemic. And it starts with how well we're able to surge up in the event that we get a high volume of patients who need hospitalized care. And we've been very fortunate on the Shore with a lot of the restrictions and guidelines that you've placed, and with the community's awareness and support for those guidelines, we've been able to maintain a level of inpatient capacity I'd say for almost over the past month or so in the single digits for the most part within our hospital system of inpatients in the hospital with COVID. That's pretty incredible when you hear and see what's going on in the rest of the country. Even with that low population of COVID patients, we're also able to try to keep as many of those patients out of the ICU and off ventilators as possible, because we know that when you get in the ICU or when you're on a ventilator, you're extremely sick and you need intensive medical care, and it takes an intensive team to help you in that circumstance. So we really want to try to prevent that as much as we can. And we've been fortunate throughout the Shore Regional Health System of having very few patients that are in the ICU and on ventilators. So again, that's a tribute to our community and to our leadership for really following this pandemic and enacting very specific guidelines to keep us safe. So with surge, though, even though we've had those low volumes of inpatients, we've been preparing since the very beginning for the worst case scenario. And that worst case scenario is a full hospital of COVID patients. And some of the things we've done to prepare for that is really to try to expand our capacity. You know, we've gone from what our normal capacity is, a hospital system of around 100 to 125 patients a day, to upwards of twice that volume of patients in our hospital system by looking at different areas of our hospital and by creating different locations for us to be able to move our patients to in the event that we exceed our current capacity. So we've been able to double our capacity and see up to 280 patients if we absolutely had to. And in that capacity as well, we've been able to quadruple our ICU capacity. So it's going from 22 beds to 88 beds if we absolutely needed to. So again, that's the worst case scenario that we can envision. And what we've been doing since the pandemic is preparing for that possibility. Now, again, that's nothing any of us want to experience, but that's something that we have to prepare for. And in an effort to kind of absorb that capacity, because again, it's not for a day, it's not for 2 days or a week. If we've got COVID patients, you know, typically they're going to be in-house for several days, if not a week plus. So we have to have other means of still seeing our emergency room patients and still seeing other patients that need care. And that's when we adopted the tent concept that you probably have seen on our campus. We started with regular party tents with the canvas tops and the canvas sides, but have really migrated into more modular tents with hard walls, hard ceilings, hard floors to be able to use that space as surge capacity space for us. And it can take on a variety of different purposes, but at the end of the day, it allows us to see more patients locally than we would normally be able to see without it. So here at Easton, we've got 2 tents that allow us, one is a capacity of 35 additional inpatient beds, and the second is a capacity of 10 additional beds. And again, how we use them can vary, but we have additional capacity through those modular tents on our campus. We also have 10-bed tents at our Chestertown and Cambridge campus as well. So those allow us to expand our capabilities. So surge capacity is number one. That's making sure we've got the capacity to care for our patients in the event that our emergency room gets overflowed or our inpatient bed status gets overflown. And we are able to manage that. But even with that surge capacity, you've got to have the staff to be able to care for patients that are coming to our facility. And I don't have to tell anyone on the council this. I know everyone knows, but we have the best team of healthcare professionals in this community that bar none throughout the state of Maryland and in the country. And that's not just our doctors and nurses and techs, but that's our environmental services team members, our food nutrition, our security officers, all play a very vital role in helping us contain and control this pandemic. So I'm so proud of the team, and because the team has stepped up, the team has taken on additional responsibilities and really has helped us care for COVID positive patients throughout our facilities. So by working up, we have increased capacity with the best team possible and perhaps some different staffing patterns. We're able to absorb a lot of that capacity that I spoke to. The next phase is the PPE, the personal protective equipment that we've got. We can have a capacity and we can be able to have the staff to care for those patients. But if we don't have the appropriate PPE, we're putting our patients and our team members at risk. And that's the last thing we want to do as a healthcare system. So if you recall, early on in the pandemic, it was incredibly challenging to get personal protective equipment. And the community stepped up so overwhelmingly well. You know, we heard from hundreds of people, individuals, organizations who donated thousands and thousands of different types of PPE to our system and money to even support the purchase of that PPE as well. So we live in such a gracious community here on the shore, and it's through the generosity of our community that we're able to get some of the PPE that we so desperately needed early on. I'm very happy to say that now our PPE supplies have been good. I'll knock wood on that just to keep myself safe. But our supply is good, and we're able to get the equipment and the protective supplies that we need to care for our patients safely. And that's masks, that's gowns, that's gloves, that's face shields. That's all the protective equipment that has to be in place for us to care for our patients safely. So we've got that in place. So with surge and with staffing and with PPE, the last big thing is the ventilators. So making sure we had enough ventilators to care for our sickest patients. And I'm pleased to say that, you know, I talk a lot about Shore Regional, but we are a member organization of the University of Maryland Medical System. And with that comes incredible knowledge on how to support the pandemic and care for patients in a pandemic, how to access equipment like ventilators. We've got a centralized pool of ventilators for our entire system to use, and it's 13 hospitals and 30,000 employees. We also are able to share PPE. When one of us are down in the system with one certain type, we can share with each other, as well as staffing. We have the capability to share staffing as well. So, I'm so pleased at being able to address all of the major components of this pandemic, both from early onset to now. And I can't stress enough the importance that Frida and the health officers of our 5-county have played, our partners at Chop Tank and other local community partners, the council, your leadership and vision. We've been able to manage this pandemic safely. And as we get into the fall season, as you've asked Sarah, you know, we are now shifting gears towards flu season and encouraging everyone to please get a flu shot, encouraging everyone to please consider getting a COVID vaccine when that vaccine comes out, because that's going to keep our community safe. So as we ramp up into the fall, we've got a good foundation of all the things I just mentioned. We're very prepared. We continuously practice, and we know that if something like that were to happen, if we were to get a surge of patients, we're going to be ready. We're going to be as ready as we possibly can be. And the last thing I just wanted to talk about a little bit is about testing. You know, testing is such an important part of understanding the spread of the virus and understanding how we can best contain it. So I know, you know, the health officers go through a lot of tracing of patients once they've tested positive, but before you can even get there, you've got to have the capacity to test your community. And I'm so proud of our partnership with Chesapeake College. We went to Chesapeake College and said, look, the health officers are doing an amazing job in each of the counties they serve, but we need to increase our testing capability. And Chesapeake College and their team said, basically, what can we do to help? You can use our facility, you can use our resources. Let's work on this and partner together. So back on August 1st, we opened our testing facility on Chesapeake College. We're open 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday from 8:30 to 12:30, and it's drive-up testing. Anybody that wants to test, you don't need a doctor's order. We would prefer that you register online. It's very, very easy. You register online for a quick appointment. You drive in, you stay in your car, you get the testing done. We can also give you a way to download our app on your phone so you can access your results without anybody even contacting you. So we've got that way to transmit that information to you. If we see that you didn't access that information, then we will call you with those results. And we will call you with a positive result as well. So a lot of that is already put into place, 2 days a week. And depending on the demand, we'll look at increasing those days of the week and hours of the day as well as needed. But important things that our community has done together to come together to fight this pandemic. So that's a little bit of the state of where we are at Shore and what we've been working on and how well we're prepared for the future. And again, I just want to thank everybody on the call and thank our community partners, especially Chop Tank and Sarah and the team there for all you're doing to help us get through this worldwide pandemic. Any questions, Chad?
Yep. Well, thanks a lot, Ken. And, you know, we're proud of you and proud of Sarah, all the, you know, hundreds of people that are, you know, there to serve our community, help our community. And, you know, you've got to be commended with all the hard work that you're doing too. And like you say, Dr. Wadley, Clay, everybody, the whole team that's involved in all this, because it is a massive undertaking, and it's been, you know, for the last 5 months. So we're really appreciative of everything that you're doing for us, and you're very passionate about it, and we really thank you a lot as a council. So does council have anything else for them?
Go ahead.
Yes, Ken, thank you obviously for everything you all are, both of you are doing, you and Sarah. I had a couple questions. One, what was the most number of COVID patients that we saw? I guess we never really surged. And then what's the average? I think you said something about single digits. And then I had another question about, you know, just regular patients.
That's a great question, Laura. Thank you. I think at our peak, we were treating in excess of 20 to 25 patients a day with COVID in the hospital. That's inpatients in the hospital. So that's kind of at our peak. We are now seeing on average, I would say between 8 and 10 patients per day in the hospital. That's about our average today.
And what's the average length of stay if somebody was admitted?
Yeah, depending on their condition. If they're really sick and they need ICU care, then it's likely to be in excess of 14 days, in excess of 2 weeks. If they're not as sick and if they're in our regular COVID inpatient unit, then we can safely discharge that patient usually within 5 to 6 days. Again, it's dependent upon their condition with COVID and other comorbidities that they might have. But typically, that's about the length of stay. I'd say between 5 and 8 days typically in the hospital.
And you mentioned comorbidities. So the vast majority have either had that or are very elderly?
That's absolutely right. It's either the comorbidities that help that cause them to be sicker, or their age as well. I mean, it's always a little more challenging to care for the elderly with the COVID. Yep.
Right. So the last point is just regular patients. I know that in our emergency services, people were afraid to call 911. There was obviously a period of time when you couldn't, quote unquote, get elective surgeries, but sometimes elective surgeries are life-saving surgeries and treatments. So how long did we stay, because we haven't seen you in 6 months, how long did we stay under that type of situation where people either were too afraid to come in or we couldn't have them come in? And then is life back to normal? Do you have the normal amount of patients? Because we want the hospital to be successful so we can build that newer, greater, shinier hospital too.
You're absolutely right. And thank you for that. When we were dealing with COVID, we really followed the governor's guidelines. The governor was very, very clear about his expectations for how the state was going to be open and when it was going to be open and to what degree. And we really followed the governor's guidelines in that regard. So early on, that meant that we really restricted the types of services that we offer that were more elective procedures. So the elective surgeries, the elective testing that we would do, the imaging or laboratory testing, all of that elective work was really curtailed because of COVID and at the governor's direction, and I believe rightfully so. But as the numbers started to come in and as the peaks started to drop and the governor started to reopen the state, we followed his suit. We followed his lead and slowly opened our elective procedures and our outpatient procedures in our doctor's offices. We followed his guidelines along the way to the point where now we are pretty much back to fully open with regard to elective surgeries, elective procedures, outpatient testing, outpatient lab work, x-ray, physical therapy. We're also open for doctor's office visits. And one of the neat things too is there are still some community members who are afraid to come into the hospital or afraid to see their doctor. So the message we're giving is if you need to see your doctor, there may be another way. Telemedicine may be the resource for you to see your doctor, and you should really look into that as opposed to not seeing your provider. And I know Sarah's offering that at Choptank as well. But when it comes to hospitalizations and ER visits, our message is loud and clear. If you need emergency care, you need to come to the ER in your community. If you are sick and not feeling well, you need to call your primary care provider. And if they refer you to the hospital, you need to come to the hospital. That's the message. We are open. We are a safe environment to care for our patients. And if you need medical attention, you really need to do that. You need to come into the ER or get your primary care provider to support you to come to the hospital. Critical things that we have to do. We are open for business. We are about at full capacity now. So, and we are a safe environment for us to care for you.
I greatly appreciate both of you coming in and speaking. Of course, I'm biased, being the son of a surgeon, but I have the utmost confidence in both of you and your organizations taking care of the community. And for those who don't know, if you saw me on the front page of the Star Democrat, I had to go to the emergency department in the middle of COVID when everything was the worst. My dog scratched my eyeball pretty bad and ended up having to go in. And I felt safe the entire time that I was in there. It was different, but the things that were put in place made me feel safe, knowing what I had to go in and have done. And I left feeling confident and safe with the care that I needed. So telemedicine is excellent, but I've got the full faith in both of your organizations and really appreciate you guys being on the call for Wednesdays. You mentioned that. I think the call Wednesday that the Emergency Operations Center puts out and handles is really the best way for us to know what's going on with every different department in the community and business and everyone. I've reached out to Dr. Griffith from the school board. She's always on the call. She'll be in our next county council meeting to kind of give us an update of how things are going with them. But just like this, tonight's our council meeting. Tomorrow we'll have that follow-up phone call where we can kind of discuss what came out of this and where we're going to go. I want the community to be able to have that same confidence that I have. And it's those phone calls, you guys both do a great job of leading and showing us the good ways to stay safe, giving us some guidance there. But knowing that you're there to protect us if things ever get worse, if we ever see any kind of spike, then I know that you guys are there. And I have that confidence to go forward. So thank you very much for all you've done to prepare and to continue to think about this.
Thank you, Frank. And it's very kind of you to say thank you. And it does take an entire community, and we're just proud to be your healthcare system on the shore and appreciate your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Pete, you want to say a few words or good?
No questions, but thanks to both of you for the presentation.
Okay, guys, well, thanks a lot for everything. I really appreciate you spending time with us tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. Take care.
Be well.
Take care. Okay. Next thing on the agenda, our next item on the agenda is an update from the Brooklets Place on some exciting news from the national accreditation. So we want to welcome, I think, Charlene Brooks, which runs a center, and then Upper Shore Aging, Bill Shreves, and is Gary? I don't know if Gary is Gary. No, Bill's there. I'm sorry. How you doing, Bill?
Looks like Gary is here. I can see him.
Is he? Okay, I wasn't sure if Gary was here or not. Yep. So you guys want to start off telling some good news?
Well, is Charlene here? Charlene?
Hey, I think
Yes, I'm here.
there you go. There's Bill. Yeah.
Turn on your
There's
video
Gary
so
and
we can
Charlie.
see you. We want to see your smiling face.
You want to see my smiling face?
There we
Good
go.
evening, everyone.
There you go. You're on, Charlene.
Thank you all for inviting us to talk. Thank you for inviting us to talk about our recent accreditation received from the National Institute of Senior Centers. We submitted our application to the National Council on Aging in June of 2016 with the extremely ambitious expectation that we would begin the process in September and apply for the national accreditation in September of 2016 and apply for national accreditation in September of 2017. Well, that didn't happen. It took us 3 years and the outstanding support of many community organizations, staff, and individuals to complete and submit our note for in July of 2019. In October, we received notification that the peer reviewer, Jill Krantz, had been selected. Due to my impending surgery and Ms. Krantz's plans and other responsibilities, she was unable to complete the on-site review until February 6th. Her time needs to share with our members, volunteers, and staff to better understand our operations. The Institution of Seniors unanimously approving the recommendation of Ms. Krantz for accreditations at their meeting on June 27, 2020. The accreditation period began February 2020 and ended February 2025. We are proud to be on the list of more than 115 senior centers who meet the rigorous standards developed by the National Institution of Senior Centers. A special thank you to the advisory committee for supporting my become nationally accredited, and to everyone who served on any of the 9 subcommittees to help make this come true. This includes the support of council and staff for providing the following employees to us: Mr. Andy Hollis,
You still with us? Okay, so maybe Charlene try to get back on. Bill or Gary, you want to go next? And why?
Yeah, I can make a few comments.
That'd be great.
Having been through the whole process, and I'm sure many of you have been through some kind of an accreditation process. It's a daunting task to start with. But the only comment I want to make is when we started out, it was never about what we're doing right now, which is hanging a plaque on the wall.
Yes, sir.
It was always about how can we up our game? How can we improve what we do in the services we provide? So through all that analysis and all that process, that's what came out of it that's so important. And we're a better, stronger senior center. We provided better services and programs. Not exactly in this environment, but it's a result of accreditation. That's what accreditation is all about. So a lot of work, but well worth it.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill, for all you do too. So, Gary, you want to say a few words?
Sure. I'm certainly proud of the staff and the volunteers and all of the community partners that went into this process. Folks dedicated a lot of time, a lot of effort to look at ways that we could improve Brooklet's Place. We were able to look at other senior centers nationally and look at ways that we're doing services and kind of apply them to Brooklet's Place. But throughout the process, there was just tremendous community support. Thank the Talbot County Council for your support in supplying staff and
Sure. Sure.
And for the volunteers that, again, invested a great deal of time, in almost a 3-year period, put that accreditation together.
But thanks a lot, Gary. And Charlene, you're back with us. Can you hear us, Charlene? If you can hear us, take it off mute if you can. Switch to mute. There you go. Can you hear us now? You should be able to talk.
I can hear you.
There you go.
Okay. So what didn't you hear? Did you not hear any of it?
No, we heard most of it. But
okay. Well,
yeah. So if you just want to pick it up somewhere in the middle, that's fine with me.
I really don't know where I stop. So I'd just like to say thank you. I can send a copy of what I drafted.
No problem.
You can have it.
We really appreciate all that you do for all of us and all the seniors. And you're a big, all three of you are a huge part of the community. And we can't thank you guys enough. So does council got a few words I'd like to say, or everybody good?
Well, I'll also add in that you're part of the Wednesday call as well, providing food service for the community and doing a great job of that. And I don't know if I can get this on the camera, but see, I have my pass to get in. When we're ready for me. When you're ready for me, I'm back in there. Let me know. I can't wait to check in.
We're ready, but the state's not ready.
Right.
Okay, then, guys. Well, go ahead, Pete.
Just wanted to add my congratulations. This is a real milestone achievement for the Senior Center. It's a real standard of excellence and a lot of work by a lot of people. So, congratulations! And this is just a sign of how well we've built the capacity to serve a very important part of Talbot County's population. So, thank you for all you do.
Ms. Price?
I'm here. Obviously, thank you all very much. Everybody has been such a team working in this community, and I also want to thank Mr. DeVillio for inviting some of these, Ken and to come on, and also have Charlene and her group come on tonight, because if the public doesn't know how much everybody's been working behind the scenes and in front of the scenes to get all this done. And congratulations very much on your accreditation. That's really, really wonderful.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And we'll be seeing you guys soon, and appreciate all the hard work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Council's next item on the agenda is a presentation of proclamation of the Senior Center Month, and I think Susan's going to read it for us.
Proclamation Senior Centers Month, September 2020. Whereas older Americans are significant members of our society, investing their wisdom and experience to help enrich and better the lives of younger generations. And whereas senior centers act as catalysts for mobilizing the creativity, energy, vitality, and commitment of the older residents of our communities through a wide array of services, programs, and activities. And whereas senior centers affirm the dignity, self-worth, and independence of older individuals by facilitating their decisions and actions, tapping their experiences, skills, and knowledge, and enabling their continued contributions to the community. And whereas Brookletts Place, the Talbot County Senior Center, and the Bay 100 Senior Center empower the older residents of our community to contribute to their own health and well-being, as well as the health and well-being of their fellow community members of all ages. Now, therefore, we, the County Council of Talbot County, do hereby proclaim September 2020 as Senior Centers Month in Talbot County, and call upon all residents to recognize the tremendous contributions that senior centers make toward the betterment of our communities, and in particular, the outstanding efforts of the staff and volunteers at the Talbot County Senior Centers who work every day to enhance the well-being of the older members of our community. Giving us our hands in the Great Seal of Talbot County this 8th day of September in the year of our Lord 2020.
Thank you, Susan. That was great. Okay, so, all right, so everybody knows it's Senior Center Month, and we ought to be proud of all that. I mean, especially our Senior Center, we got one of the best ones in the state, I feel. There's a lot of activities there, and it means a lot to a lot of seniors. So I'm very proud to be a part of it, and we all do a good job to support that. So, okay, so moving on. Anybody have anything else to say about that? We good? Okay, so let's move on. The next thing on the agenda is Ray Clark, an update on Free Household Hazard Waste Day, September 26th. And I think Ray is going to be on here to give us an update on that, if I'm correct. I can't hear you, Jess. You got to take it off mute.
I'm waiting for Ray to indicate he's on the line.
Oh, he's on the line, so he's going to be on the phone.
Yeah, I'm waiting for an indication.
Okay.
While we wait for him to come online, I just want to go circling back to the senior center.
Right.
We had a planning meeting last year. I think Mr. Lesher was there. It might have been 2 years ago. I'm not sure, but it was exciting for me. It was a lot of fun hearing the seniors, and it was down in the Bay 100 one, talk about what kind of activities they know that they enjoy doing that they would like to teach other seniors to do in the senior center. And it was neat hearing, fly tying and lots of different little hobbies and things that a lot of people do around here that maybe some of the seniors don't have access to, or don't have the supplies to do. But it was really heartwarming to be part of a community discussion where it's the community trying to come up with things that they can do to help others in the community at the senior centers, and both of which are fantastic. If nobody's had a chance to go by them, they're both absolutely amazing, and much more than anything that you would think of just out of a senior center. Between the gymnasium, the food, the TV rooms, the activities, they really are a valuable asset to the community.
I would agree, Mr. DeVillio. And a lot of people do forget. I mean, we have two excellent ones, a new one that just opened, a couple of years ago. So we're so proud of it. So. If Ray's not on yet, maybe if he's trying to get on, do we want to start a little bit on the county manager's report, Andy, until Ray gets cleared?
Ray, if you're on the line, if you can do *3.
You're still muted, Mr. Hollis.
Okay, Ray is on now.
Oh, Ray's on. Okay, Ray, can you hear us?
Yes, sir, I can. How you doing today?
Okay, Ray, how you doing? I really appreciate you being with us tonight. So you can, kind of run through the update of the Free Household Hazard Waste Day, in September 26th. So if you could
Yes, sir.
let us know what that's all about.
Sure thing. I guess every year, and unfortunately this has been postponed since April, but every year we do 2 hazardous household waste days, along with latex as well as electronics recycling drop-off. This year's or the event on September 26th will be held at the Queen Anne's County Public Works Facility at 312 Safety Drive in Centerville, and the event will basically take place from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., rain or shine. Typically, property owners or residents, it's not open for businesses, but property owners and residents, they can drop off like gases, gasoline, oil mixes, automotive fuels, empty propane tanks, acid cleaners, pool chemicals, darkroom type chemicals, pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides, oil-based paints, paint thinners, stains, along with fluorescent bulbs, as well as mercury thermometers. In addition to that, for, let's say, e-cycle or electronics, you're looking at computers and peripherals, TVs, remotes, VCRs, CDs, DVDs, as well as, let's say, old CB radios and or fax machines and answering machines and or copiers. They are going to limit people to 4 TVs, so you can only bring in 4 TVs if you have 4 bad TVs. And then ultimately, the only thing that's again be accepted on Saturday, September 26th, in Queen Anne's County at 312 Safety Drive, Centerville, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Is this something that we might want to, just advertise on the website or something like that? Yes.
If it's not on our website, we'll work to get that posted. There is a flyer.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. So, okay then, Ray. Well, I appreciate the update on everything. That sounds good. So, okay, Ray. Anybody have any questions for Ray?
Okay. Mr. Callahan, if we can keep Mr. Clark on for the county manager report, that would be great.
Yeah. Did you hear that, Ray?
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. Okay. So if you could just stay on there for a few minutes for the county report, that would be great. And Mr. Hollis, if you could go ahead and get started on your report, that would be great.
Sure. We have 2 items regarding the Public Works Department. The first is requesting council approval to hire 2 new entry-level collection system operators for the sanitary district. Salaries are paid out of that sanitary district, which is an enterprise operation. That starting salary is $33,282 plus benefits. Ray, you've already submitted an explanation in writing to the council. Did you want to add anything?
Just that we do have applicants. We did advertise, and I think we're in the process. We'd like to go ahead and move forward to interviewing applicants this time.
Okay, so
Would you like a motion to approve?
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
So moved.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve a new. It's a what position is it?
They're entry level collection system operators.
There you go. There you go. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No?
Or does Ms. Moran need to call the roll?
Oh, I'm sorry. Ms. Rand, you need... I didn't want to cut you out. Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
So next council, also Public Works, we're requesting your approval to retain Wallace Montgomery and Associates to prepare an environmental report for the properties included in resolution number 235, and that's at a price not to exceed $20,328.50. And this is a requirement of the USDA for the loan and grant opportunity. Did you want to add anything, Ray?
Just let the council know that the Wallace Montgomery is also the firm that prepared the preliminary engineering report. So this would be the second report that's necessary to get the rural development funding.
Okay, that sounds great. Mr. Clark, we got a motion?
Mr. Just a question. Mr. Clark, can you remind us?
So moved to approve not to exceed.
If you could hold up, Ms. Price, for a second.
Just a question for Mr. Clark about to remind us and for the public what neighborhoods this particular project would cover. This is associated with Resolution 235. So this is including a lot of the lots that were along Unionville Road, some lots that are off of on Glebe. At the same time, we have a lot of the communities along Route 33, which was Averly Farms, was it Doncaster, North Bend, Arcadia Shores. In addition to Arcadia Shores, I think we also had
Thanksgiving Drive, as well as Blueberry Acres, and with some lots also just outside of the Royal Oak Village, and then ultimately the houses down on Rolls Range Road.
And also the rest subdivision rate.
And is great because that sewer line running up St. Michael's Road, it's already there. It doesn't allow for any additional expansion or new properties, but it gets people off of septic and onto a sewer line so they can make improvements to their houses without having to worry about additional development. So this was a great project. Thank Mr. Clark for that. And with that, I'll make a motion to approve the Wallace Montgomery engineering firm.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Villar seconded. So we have a motion and a second to move forward on the report. Madam Secretary, can you call the roll?
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Great. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Council. Next, you have two requests from the Department of Parks and Recreation regarding the capital outlay funding for this fiscal year. The first is asking for approval to purchase security cameras for Congers Basin, Oak Creek, and Nevitt public landings, and that is a cost of $15,000. And secondly, to purchase a new ice edger for the ice rink at a cost of $9,000. And those monies are budgeted and contingent, and capital outlay funding in the current budget.
Okay, so is there a motion?
So moved.
Go ahead, Ms. Price.
Well, just question. I understand that it's technically in the budget, but we're talking about the ice rink. Is it open? Is it going to open?
Yes, ma'am, but in a limited capacity. But Mr. Pepper does anticipate it opening, yes.
Okay, just checking because, like I said, we kind of stuck everything in capital outlay in the county manager's budget so that Andy would come to us each time to whether or not we were going to disperse the monies from those. And again, with everything going on, that's why I wanted to ask a question about whether we, if there's not going to be a whole lot of capacity, should we go ahead and do it now or should we wait another year?
So I will add the caveat that if COVID doesn't in fact surge again during the late fall, winter months, that would impact the ice. But this is equipment that we'd be using in subsequent years as well. The original equipment is 10 years old and spends more time being repaired than it is being used.
Right, and it's not a huge ticket item. We just want to keep track of them all. Thank you.
Good.
Okay.
So with that, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to go ahead and purchase some equipment. Madam Secretary, can you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
The council, the next item is one that I know you all are supportive of because it has to do with the World War I, World War II, and Korean War KIA memorials for the courthouse grounds. And we have submitted to you the draft MOU, the memorandum of understanding between the county and Ms. Blades and Ms. Gooding with the VFW for installation of those memorials. The facility manager, the county attorney, myself, and those two ladies have all approved it, and we're asking for your approval tonight.
Okay, so is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Oh, I'll second then.
Okay, we got a motion and a second to allow things to go forward, and we're all looking forward to this. Madam Secretary, can you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
And finally, council, a series of appointment requests. First is for the Upper Shore Workforce Investment Board, requesting the appointment of Reverend Eric Daniels of the Asbury United Methodist Church and Waters United Methodist Church.
Okay, there's another motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion. Are we approved this?
Second.
Okay. Madam Secretary, we got a motion and a second. Could you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Hey, Pete, did you hear us?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lesher. Thank you.
requesting the appointment of Lori Higgins of Channel Marker to complete the unexpired term of Debbie Jackson on the Adult Public Guardianship Review Board.
A motion, got a second?
I'll second.
Second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, can you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed.
I'm sorry, requesting the reappointment of Carla Whelan Cherry and Leslie Israel to the Animal Control Board as alternate members.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second it. Motion is seconded on the floor. Madam Secretary, could you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Motion passed.
For the Economic Development Commission, requesting the reappointment of Ted Baus and representing the town of St. Michael's being Huntsman.
So moved.
Motion on the floor. Two people to come on the economic development. Madam Secretary, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Billy?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Frederick Douglass Honor Society is requesting the appointment of Harriet Lowry to represent the society on the Frederick Douglass Park on the Tuckahoe Advisory Committee.
Make a motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on the floor to Mrs. Lowry on the board. Is there, Madam Secretary, could you call the vote?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Motion passed. Thank you.
Local Emergency Planning Committee requesting the reappointment of Dr. Kelly Griffith, Christopher Durham of the Health Department, Micah Risher of the airport, and Talbot County Public Schools is requesting the appointment of Donald Cooper as well to replace David Stoffel.
It's a motion.
Second.
Okay, there's the motion is second for various names to be put back on the board. Is Madam Secretary, could you call the vote, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
Council, regarding the Tourism Board, the town of St. Michael's is requesting the reappointment of Kimberly Weller, whose term expired July 1st, and we're also asking for the reappointment of Angela Eade, who represents Tidewater Vacations.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion second that St. Michael's is wants a few people recommended for their committees. Madam Secretary, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Callahan?
Aye.
Mr. DeVillio?
Aye.
Ms. Price?
Aye.
Mr. Lesher?
Aye.
And that's all, Mr. Vice President. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so county report is all done. Great job. Mr. Hollis, good job. So I think we're down to public comments. Aren't we, Ms. Morris? Can you take your mute, please?
I actually think Mr. Durham is handling that segment, Mr. Callahan.
Who is?
Mr. Parker Durham, the host.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, Parker. We're ready for public comments. Do we have any public comments?
6 people on the line.
Okay.
If you are interested in making a public comment, please indicate by pressing *3. We'll unmute you. Okay, we have caller number 7, and I will unmute you. Please indicate if you are speaking for yourself or if a group, and if a group, what group that is. Please begin.
Hi, this is Henry Herr. I'm speaking for myself, but with some others, I shouldn't take that much time.
What did you say, sir? What did you say your name was?
Henry Herr.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Herr.
Perfect. just wanted to call in again, just to bring to light how you guys have still refused to make any motions or any ideas about how you're going to fix the Talbot Boys statue. We've brought it up many times. I'd also like to point out that, you know, the Atlantic magazine has gotten a lot of publicity the past week or so, and in that magazine, there's an article about how the Talbot Boys statue stands in the blatant face of the Frederick Douglass Memorial. So a lot of people are going to be reading that, and how the tourism in Talbot County is heavily influenced by out-of-town people. And the more people finding out about how your inaction is affecting everyone in this community is negatively going to affect all the businesses in Talbot County. I've mentioned many times that I'd pay for this coming down, so it looks like I'm going to have to start spending my money to promote the fact that, you know, Talbot County does not care about minorities, and you shouldn't spend your money there. So appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mr. Appreciate your comments. Next.
And we have one other user indicating they would like to speak, but I believe it may have been Mr. Pepper from the Community Center early on for one of his parts.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
So is that it?
No, go ahead.
Hello?
Oh, okay.
Please begin.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We sure can. Say your name, please.
Thank you. My name is Judy Wickstead, and I am calling tonight to respectfully ask the County Council to introduce a new resolution to move the Confederate monument from the county courthouse lawn. It is not appropriate for a memorial celebrating treason to the United States government be stand on the courthouse lawn. I ask you to please reconsider your previous decision and provide the leadership this county desperately needs. The issue will not go away, and the decision brought shame on this county, not just nationwide, but across the bay. Even the Lieutenant Governor noted the fact that this monument should not stand in the last public meeting that he had when you unveiled the town walk, or the Frederick Douglass Memorials. And thank you for your time.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay, we have another caller. Please begin, caller.
Can you hear us, caller? Can you say your name, please?
Yes, this is Clive Ewing from Averly Farm, outside Easton.
Go ahead, Mr. Ewing.
I was calling in. I listened to the meeting tonight. I didn't realize Talbot Boys was on the agenda, but I noticed a couple folks.
It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda. Yep, it's on. We're doing public comments, Mr. Ewing.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, I will say I appreciate the council's decision to keep that monument, and I do believe our economy and our great people of this county are best served with that monument staying right in place. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Ewing. Appreciate you calling in.
Currently, we do not have anyone else indicating they wish to speak.
Okay. Well, if somebody pops on there in the next minute or so, just let me know. All right. I guess we're down to council comments. Mr. Lesher, would you like to start off?
I can keep this real brief, which is nothing to add at this point. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lesher. Ms. Price?
It's nice to see everybody's faces again, even though we are virtual. I hope that this worked out for the public. Having participated over the phone the last few meetings, I know what a challenge it has been for the public to understand. We've been working on the technology. It is definitely, I think, easier to understand everybody when their faces are showing and you can see their expressions and hear what they're saying. It wasn't perfect tonight, but I think that was more my bandwidth here than any place else. So hopefully you can let us know how that went, because, maybe we're going to be doing this, at least for the next few meetings. And I'd like to hear your feedback. And it's nice to see everybody's smiling faces.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Mr. DeVillio?
So I feel like my 5th and 3rd grader who started school today virtually learning through Talbot County Public Schools. And we heard from Ken Cozell earlier speaking about telemedicine, and God bless you.
Bless you.
So we're all adapting using technology. And I said this on Facebook about my children earlier. It's amazing how adaptive they are when they're so young and just when everything's new to them. And I hope that we can all do that. I hate to have this meeting, but there's a lot of council business that's extremely important, and I'm glad that we're able to continue to have it, and I won't allow anything to disrupt the business that we're doing or put the police in an awkward position. So I hate having to do this, but I am using technology to move forward in the best manner possible. So Ms. Corey Pack, I hope he's having a great time away, and I'm sure when he comes back, we'll fill them all in.
Well, thank you, Mr. DeVillio. It's no doubt that Mr. Pack is watching me as we speak. You know that and taking notes, okay? So anyway, I wish he was here with us, and we hope he's having a good time and relaxing. So I would like to mention one thing that we're not going to be able to do this year, and that's the 9/11 ceremony. And I think, what was that? Was that 9/11? Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. So that is something special to everybody. It was everybody knows where they were at that day. And I would like, if everybody would, just a brief moment of silence for all the people that passed away, and give our respect to them, please. Thank you. Like Mr. DeVillio said, it's our first virtual meeting. I'm proud of it. You guys did an excellent job. Very proud of council. Very proud of staff. I know you guys worked very hard this week, in the last week, to put us all together. I think it went very well. And it's a little, like Mr. DeVillio said, it's a little tough on us. But we're all going to get through this. And I want to be very positive. We want things safe with the county. We want people safe with their citizens. Okay. So we're all going to figure this out. We're going to get back into the Bradley room soon, but we need to sort of figure out a few options for the protesters. We want the protesters to be safe. We want them to be able to do what they feel is necessary to support their causes. So this isn't something that we're running away from. This is something that we want to make sure when we do this, that everybody is safe. So that's the most important thing to council right now. So I really appreciate everybody tonight having comments. And if, like I said, it's been very interesting. I think we did all a great job. So I think other than that, I think do we need a motion to leave the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn. That's what I'm trying to say. Second. Couldn't think of it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate everything. See you soon.